This light bulb nearly ended my life. So the other day I walked into my house and I realized that the light wasn't turning on. Turns out my light bulb had bent. So I did what everybody else would do. I went to buy a new bulb and decided to fix it myself. And well, I think you can imagine what happened next. I fell so hard. I ended up going to the hospital. I had broken 2 ribs and I also broke my nose at the end of the day. So occasionally I get some very sharp pains at the left side of my chest. And this incident had me wondering, why is it that in the modern day, Jesus, my ribs. I'm fine. Okay, I'll be okay. So this whole incident had me wondering, why is it that in the modern day, we can't make light bulbs that will last more than just a few months? Because the Centennial light bulb has been working for over 100 years. Yet we can't get these light bulbs, which are LED, mind you, to work more than 3 months at a time. And my research led me to one thing that a lot of people don't know, that these things have actually been planned ahead. Let's travel back to 1924. Major light bulb manufacturers came to form a secretive alliance known as the Phoebus Cartel. Their goal was to control the global light bulb market and maximize profits by artificially limiting the lifespan of light bulbs. And it actually worked. This is one of the earliest examples of what we now know as planned obsolescence. Planned obsolescence is a business strategy where products are deliberately designed to have a limited lifespan, encouraging consumers to replace them regularly. But you see, the initial purpose of planned obsolescence wasn't evil or nefarious. It was rather made to stimulate the economy during the Great Depression in America in the mid-20th century. Industrial designer Brooks Stevens promoted planned obsolescence as a marketing strategy rather than a government policy, and encouraged more companies to make products desirable for only a short period of time, convincing consumers to upgrade before items physically wore out. But later on, this strategy was flipped to now be used against the consumer by these massive manufacturing companies to keep making more money for themselves. Apple has been known to slow down their older phones to encourage people to buy the newer ones. So if you realize your iPhone 11 all the way down to X, all the way down to like iPhone 6 have steadily become slow over time. In fact, Apple was sued for this and eventually lost that lawsuit. If you own a modern console like the Xbox or the PS5, you are no stranger to stick drift, where the analog stick of your controller will just start moving on its own. Meanwhile, for those of you who remember, that wasn't the case in the PS2 days. Your PS2 controller or your Xbox Duke controller could last a long time without you having to replace the controller or even any parts of the controller. But now, you can't have any of these controllers for a long time without having to replace the whole thing or have the controller itself repaired. By the way, those of you who have a PS5 controller and you want to fix joystick issues, call or text this number over here. We will hook you up. Why do we even have yearly upgrades for everything? iPhones, Samsung phones, laptops. There's always a new version every year. For what reason? What type of technological advancement can you get within 10 months? Car companies are using softwares to lock certain features in cars. BMW locked the heating feature in their cars through a software until you pay for it. Tesla locks the battery capacity of a lot of their cars until you pay for it. Imagine being able to only charge your phone 80%, but you have to pay before you can charge your phone up to 100%. Like, there's no sense inside.
I don't take short, I don't take madness, I don't take far.
But the worst of all these companies are printer manufacturers. HP uses microchips in their cartridges to block you from using other cartridges which are cheaper than the ones they sell. And their cartridges are very expensive. $50 for a printer cartridge, and then emoji drew. Canon will disable scanning features because the ink level is too low. What does ink have to do with scanning? Epson straight up started killing their older printers which were still working with a software update. These are just some of the few examples of how these companies keep printing money on the backs of their consumers by limiting the lifespan and the access that their consumers have to their products. And we do nothing about it because these companies have control over us and our lives. Whilst we are here fighting over which is better, Ghana jollof or Nigeria jollof, it's Ghana jollof. Ghana jollof is better.